Reading is one of the best ways to change your life. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 must-read books about money. Welcome back to the Financial Freedom System YouTube channel, where I help you upgrade your mindset, money, and more so you can live a life full of financial freedom and purpose. One of the best habits that I've developed over the past few years has been getting back into reading. And the reason I say that is it has allowed me to sit down, to talk, have conversations, and more importantly, learn from some of the most brilliant and best minds of people who have ever lived, all thanks to a book. I just finished putting together this bookshelf that you can see behind me, and I thought it would be a good time to stop and share with you 3 books that I think are must-reads when it comes to money. And these are because I have read these books. These are because I have started incorporating these things into my life, and I've been doing that for a while now. And more importantly as well, I've come to my own conclusions. I've created my own ideas about money, wealth, financial freedom, and these books have really reinforced the things and the frameworks that I've been using and that I've created. So that's why I want to share these with you here as well. But I also get people asking me how they can level up their money game. And the answer is simple. Anything that I do or say in a 5 or a 10-minute conversation probably isn't going to work. It's probably not going to create lasting change in your life. But if you want to continue that conversation, if you want to have more detailed conversations as well, what I need those people to do is I need those people to read these 3 books, because I know that that is what's going to really show that they're committed to learning what this is and how it works and how they can do it too. And I don't see these books as necessarily books that you can read. I don't see these books as something that you can just do to pass the time. I don't really see these books as books, to be honest. I see these books as instructions on how you can be successful with money in your own life. Of course, all of these books will be linked down below if you want to get a copy of your own. All right, let's grab the first book here. And the first book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I recommend this book because it taught me so much about how to level up my money mindset and also understand what potential I have. And I really like this book itself because it's the black leather, it's got the gold text, it's actually the complete classic text as well. And when you open the book, it's got like a nice finish to it. You can flip through, you can tell that when you're reading this is a nice book, but more importantly, what it's going to do is give you the instructions that you need to get serious about leveling up your money game. And I will say that I didn't actually read it the first time I read the book because I listened to it as an audiobook. And for me, that was a good way for me to get into a book like this, which I think for some people, they would be able to pick it up right away and just start reading. But for other people, and for me included, I thought it was way easier to get the content of this book, listen to it as an audiobook, be able to consume it in a bunch of different ways, and also for me, consume the materials and what it talks about in the content way faster. And then I went out and I bought an actual hardcover copy of it, which I don't regret because I am going, and I know this without a doubt because I've already gone through it a few times, I'm going to be reading this book year after year, and I'm sure of that. Some key takeaways of Think and Grow Rich were for me that you have to have a burning desire of what you want to accomplish with your life. And you also have to know the what and why that matters to you. Another would be how important the subconscious beliefs that you have and that you've carried with you for potentially a very long time are to informing your present and your future actions and beliefs. Because a lot of the time, what we think and what we feel today is informed by our past, maybe our friends and our family or our coworkers or what the TVs are telling us, right? Informs how we currently think, how we currently feel, how we currently act. And that might be true, but for the large majority of people, that is not leading them to success in the way that they want it. So they have to deconstruct those. They've got to break those down. They've got to understand and be able to weed through the good things that they've learned from their past and the bad things, and really make sure that they focus on living a life of value and living a life of purpose in how they want. Let's put this away and grab the second book. All right. The second book here is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I recommend this book because it taught me how to make money, and it also taught me how to make money work for me, because most people are out there working in jobs that they do not enjoy, and they're essentially exchanging their time for money. And that's not the way that I want to live. That's why I've created passive income streams. That is why I do have a job, yes, like many of you can relate to, but I'm also really making sure that I pursue other avenues of making and creating an income that work for me on my terms and not on somebody else's. This book uses personal experience and storytelling to essentially get the message across that you can learn from anybody in your life. And Robert Kiyosaki talks about his dad, who he calls his poor dad in the book, and his friend's dad, who he calls his rich dad in the book. Both taught him lessons about money, but he chose to focus on his friend's dad, his rich dad, because of the mindset that he had and the mindset that he passed on to his friend and also to him. And the subtitle gives a hint to what the book is actually talking about, what the rich teach their kids about money and what the poor and middle class do not. The second takeaway that I had from this book was about the cash flow quadrant, which you can see on the screen here. And it made me think about how I wanted to make my money. Did I want to be an employee and exchange my time for money, which is something I do now, but I choose to do that more importantly? Did I want to be a business owner? Did I want to be self-employed or an investor? And those are the 4 areas of the quadrant that really challenged how I make money and how I wanted to make money. And since reading this book, I've actually met 3 of those 4 areas. I say 3 of the 4 because I'm an employee, I'm a business owner, and I'm an investor. Am I self-employed entirely on my own? No, because I'm an employee and I choose to do that, like I had said. So this book will really deconstruct your money beliefs. It will also help you build and create new ones on what you want to create. Let's throw this back on the bookshelf and look at the third book. All right, so the third book is I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. I recommend this book because it reinforced a lot of the beliefs that I had and a lot of the things and the frameworks, the principles that I've used and that I've developed on my own about money and about how I want money to be a tool that I get to use to live out my values. It reinforced a lot of those beliefs that I had already created. So with this book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, it's a book that I recommend because it gets you to define what it means to live a rich life. It doesn't ask what your friends define that as. It doesn't ask what your family defines that as society, or anybody else. It comes down to you creating your rich life. And the book is incredibly written. It provides a lot of examples, and more importantly, something you don't often get out of a book, it gives you a lot of resources, which is why I say this is a guide that you need to use if you're serious about leveling up your money game. I think that most people let money control them instead of them controlling it. And that's really scary because I want you to think about this. What if you could do anything you want with your money? What would bring you happiness or fulfillment? What would you do to make your family's lives better? Would it be taking that trip that you've always dreamt of? Or would it be watching a movie at home? Would it be starting an organization that makes a difference in your community? Or would it be something different? I want you to see this video and I want you to read this book. And I want you to give yourself permission to answer the question, what does a rich life mean for you? I know without a doubt that these are 3 books that will help you upgrade your mindset, money, and more. So if you want to get a copy of these books, I've left the links down below, or you can visit financialfreedomsystem.link/books. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, drop your questions and comments down below, and please click the subscribe button if you want to learn how you can create a life full of financial freedom.